And we have a military for a reason. There's no point in spending hundreds of billions of dollars on a military if we have no need to fight a war. The reality is, from time to time, other countries will try to destroy the United States because we are a threat to everything they stand for. Ronald Reagan was not wrong when he said that just the principle of America is dangerous to communists and dictators and ayatollahs because ultimately their people are going to want the deal that we have. Their people are going to say, I want to be free too. I don't want to be under the thumb of some crazy dictator. And so, frankly, every crackpot in the world, every king, every tyrant has an incentive to destroy this country. And it's much more efficient to drop a bunker buster on their nuclear program than to wait until they blow up a major city. And the fact that we haven't had a major nuclear event in the United States, the fact that we haven't had a city destroyed from World War II to today, I mean, it's a small miracle, and it speaks to the incredible sacrifices and hard work behind the scenes of our military. And Donald Trump, I think, wisely understands that precedent. It's very easy to say, I don't want to have mission creep. I think the mission of the military is to keep Americans safe. And the fact that we have not had, frankly, a nuclear explosion in the United States is proof our military are doing their job. And I salute them and thank them.
It is pretty amazing that we have not had a nuclear bomb dropped. Somebody mentioned Cat Turd. This is Cat Turd right here. He just posted something on X. It's kind of funny. It's Thomas. He goes, Congressman Thomas Massie of Kentucky. Oh, this is Trump saying it, I mean. Thomas Massie of Kentucky is not MAGA, even though he likes to say that he is. Actually, MAGA doesn't want him. He doesn't know him and doesn't respect him. So basically, what Cat Turd is saying is that he's dropping a nuclear bomb, one of those bunker buster bombs, right on Thomas Massie. And that is going to be the end of Massie's career, politically speaking. Without a doubt.
So Brian, I think you need to comment on this. Are you in any way related to Thomas Massie?
Yeah, we were wondering about that.
I covered that, Commissioner, early on in the program. And so I told everyone I am not related in any, not that I'm aware of anyway, not related to Thomas Massie.
Well, we don't believe you.
I don't know if I share his views or not. I don't know all of his views, but
I don't really know who he is.
Some people say I am. You know, when they know me, they said, well, that must be your uncle or cousin or something over there. Maybe he is. I don't know.
Right. But, well, we do have one person here. I'll bring you on real quick, Linda. Is Thomas Massie and Brian Massie, are they very similar in their thoughts? I mean, they could be related. Even though what Brian is saying, they could be related. I don't trust him.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
Well,
and Thomas Massie has never claimed to be MAGA at all. If you ask him, he has never been a Trump supporter.
I got you.
Well, just ask Jerry Serino about Brian Massie, Linda, next time you're
You can ask a lot of people about Brian Massie and find out what's going on there. All right, last thing I want to do tonight, and we couldn't do a show without talking a little bit about property taxes. Let's just knock this out.
Our concern, however, is that on the property owner side, they are purely tapped out. And if they have the ability, which I think they would, to fund your essential service through income tax or through sales tax, why shouldn't they have the right and the ability to fund you in a different way besides putting it all in the backs of the property owners?
While local control is important, relying on frequent levies creates unpredictability and instability for essential services like policing. Police departments require stable, predictable funding to maintain 24/7 readiness, pay salaries, meet pensions and obligations. I mean, again,
talking about House Bill 335, sponsored by Dave Thomas, and I think he's a good kid. I really do. But it's a terrible idea, and I'll tell you why. The attempt here is for the state to essentially pull a John Kasich and say, once again, instead of the state's budget, which has ballooned out of control over the last 5 years, it's just gone to extreme levels where you'd swear Washington, D.C. has infected Columbus. They say, we will not cut taxes or our budget one iota. We instead want to take it directly out of the local governments. And in many cases, there's not much to take because state law says, thou shalt provide police services, thou shalt provide fire services, thou shalt provide a jail. Plainly says, not the city. not the township, not the county. It is the state government that is constitutionally required to pay for public schools, which is 60 to 70% of the property tax wherever you live. And the state has not only been taking in all that state sales and income tax that's supposed to fund public schools and spending on other things, they've also then been allowing public schools to pull in property tax. So it's been a double tax. You all have been paying for schools twice. And what the state legislature needs to do is take responsibility, admit that they have a bloated, out of control budget, admit that they're the ones who need to take the cut, and pass comprehensive property tax reform right now. Not by saying fire half your police department, because they know that won't happen. It's facetious because they know that ultimately it will force cities and villages to raise other taxes off your back. And what good does it do to you if they cut your taxes, but with the other hand, they're reaching in your pocket and taking more of your money? It doesn't do you much good at all. They need to use the revenue that's currently coming in to cut property taxes, not say raise more taxes on the other end. That is not a boon to the taxpayer. And frankly, it's an attempt to pass the buck. And it's a failed attempt, by the way. The president of the Senate, Rob McCauley, said he did not believe the Senate caucus would support it. Speaker Huffman said he did not think it would pass. Even the bill's sponsor conceded he did not think that House Bill 335 would pass. I agree with the principle that it is wrong that we've been forcing people to pay these unvoted tax increases, but I disagree with the state saying, why don't you cut all your police and firefighters to pay for the difference? No. How about we cut Columbus? And by the way, fun fact, Columbus's proposed budget, all funds, is over $100 billion. That's the budget they're talking about in Columbus right now. Cutting that by less than 20% would cover abolishing property taxes altogether. Cutting it less than 3% would be enough to fund 100% property tax exemption for every senior in the state with no income or wealth limitations whatsoever. The state has plenty of money to get reforms done. They are just unwilling to give up the cash.
Yeah, Brian.
I would like to nominate Commissioner John Plechnik for governor of the state of Ohio. Do I get a second on that?
Yeah.
Commissioner Plechnik, I appreciate that.
I know, it's good advice. But what's your thoughts, though?
What we've heard is Governor DeWine say that public schools are funded by income taxes and property taxes. And all I've heard from the elected officials is that eventually they want to eliminate the income tax. So if they eliminate the income tax, ergo, that means there's going to be even greater dependence on the property taxes to fund the public schools. And that's a problem. So what we are going to do, our committee, we're going to make this, the property tax versus income tax, we're going to make that an issue for 2026, and when we get the needed signatures and we get the ballot amendment on the ballot, we're going to find out who is really supporting the average citizen. Will Vivek Ramaswamy commit to eliminating property tax, or will he commit to eliminating the income tax? Because we've been told that none of the the average citizens have been clamoring for the reduction of or elimination of the income tax. But they sure want to see the property taxes reduced. And I think what is happening is that the legislators are really, once again, eliminating the income tax because that's going to help their donor class, and especially next year when they're up for re-election and they're going to need money from their donors, and the only way they get money is if they're promising some tax reductions. So 2026 is going to be a very, very interesting year, and our committee and the average citizens throughout the state of Ohio are going to keep pushing to eliminate the property taxes. Yeah. And as far as paying for police and fire, I said, send us a bill. Just don't tie it to our house. Mm-hmm. No taxes should be tied to our house. Any tax causing a citizen to become homeless is immoral.